Hi, this is attorney David Gibbs with the National Center for Life and Liberty. I want to address a question that has been coming into our office regularly from churches, ministries, and individuals. And it's dealing with government mandates to wear a mask during this coronavirus. Is that constitutional? Now, I want to begin by saying clearly, some people are glad to wear a mask. Other people find them bothersome. We're not here to really debate why the masks are being discussed, but from a constitutional perspective, it's very interesting at this point what the Supreme Court has signaled. There was a case that went up to the Supreme Court, and it was looking at church services and other things that were being reviewed, and Chief Justice Roberts gave a nod to a Supreme Court precedent that was over 100 years old. It's a case called Jacobson versus Massachusetts. And to set the stage for this case, over 100 years ago, they had the smallpox pandemic sweeping through the country, and they developed the vaccine, and they issued through the government mandatory vaccinations. Now, Mr. Jacobson decided he was not going to be vaccinated, even if his government told him that he had to be, and he was criminally charged. And so that's why the case has the state in its name. He was challenging on constitutional grounds that the government, the state of Massachusetts, should not be able to tell him that he must be vaccinated. Now, what the Supreme Court did over 100 years ago was they said, in these areas of public health, we are going to afford tremendous discretion to the government. And as long as the government is treating everyone fairly, they have the ability to make these determinations. Now, fast forward to 2020, where we are today with the COVID-19 pandemic, many people are asking, does the government still have that level of authority to make these determinations with things like masks? Chief Justice Roberts seemed to signal in affirming that the precedent that was set in the Jacobson case over 100 years ago is going to control, and that government officials are going to have wide latitude in making these determinations as long as they're treating everyone the same. So from a constitutional perspective, most experts would say there is not a constitutional case to challenge the mandates regarding masks. Now, as we think about the mask, some people ask, well, Mr. Gibbs, how does this impact my church or what we're doing? And most of the mask mandates are directed to individuals. So we've been encouraging churches to be cooperative and supportive of what their governments are requesting, to have people that are serving as greeters or people that are greeting children as they come into the organization, to have any type of clustering where people are indeed wearing the mask, and then to look at whether there could be mask breaks when the people are socially separated or not near each other. And so churches have been trying to cooperate, but what we have been saying is churches are not under a duty to force everyone to do it. They do have the right to do that, but the obligation still rests with the discretion of the church as to what they deem to be best. Now, some have asked, well, if somebody shows up without a mask, should we ask them to leave? And once again, it comes back to the discretion of the church. There may be some people with health issues or other reasons why they don't wear a mask, and you as a church have the right to require it, but you also have the right to use your own judgment to make wise exceptions. Now, there are some health-stated exceptions that many people are aware of, that children under the age of 2, anyone who has trouble breathing, anyone who may have difficulty or has passed out, obviously you want to immediately remove the mask, so in no way would their breathing be restricted. Now, one more question that's being asked at our office is, why are these masks being required all across the country? Well, the CDC, and there's been some inconsistency on this, but has now reached the point where dealing with the COVID virus, the belief is that the mask works in a couple of ways. Number one, anyone that might be infected is unable to distribute as much of the virus as possible through coughing, sneezing, or other things by properly wearing the mask. Also, someone who's not infected is more protected from breathing in or touching their nose or their mouth if they come in contact with the virus. So while social distancing, lack of contact, extra cleaning, other things are very important, the prevailing consensus at this point is that masks do help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Constitutionally, it's the government's call to make, according to our United States Supreme Court. As a church or a ministry, you have a lot of discretion, but I would encourage you to do what's in the best interest of your members' health. If you have any questions, our coaching team, our legal team at the NCAA is only a phone call or an email away, and we're honored to stand with your ministry as you deal with the public health of your members, your guests, the people that come on your campus, as we want to have the best testimony for Christ we possibly can.